Sol Música. I'm LP. It's nice to meet you. And I guess I'm going to answer some questions. So let's see if they're the ones you want to know.
When you get older, plainer, saner, will you remember all the danger we came from?
Well, Lost on You, I mean, yes, it's my, it's technically my 4th album, but it's, I feel like this might be one of the first times I've been able to get a whole record through that is as much the vision that I wanted. You know, I've had a, like, this is like my 6th record deal, and and I've had like 3 different major label deals, and it's just one of those things. It's like a business, you know. They call it the music business. It's a business. It's hard sometimes to get your vision through unscathed. So I feel like this time, I was able to more so than any other time, and it's been nice. You know, I think it feels true and feels real.
Burning like embers, falling tender, longing for the days of no surrender years ago. And will you know?
For my particular sound and just how I write, I feel like that energy, the original energy on a demo for me, always feels like a bit more true. And there's an excitement, there's a visceral kind of realness there. There's no, because once you start like putting things on top of it, it starts to get a little bit different. It's like I don't know if you guys have here that game of telephone. We have a game called Telephone where if you start a sentence with someone and then you tell it to them and they tell it to somebody else and somebody else, it becomes a totally different sentence. So I feel like sometimes when you go through too many people like working on a song that they weren't there to create, it starts to get wonky to me.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it's going down. All I ever wanted was you. I'll never get to heaven 'cause I don't know how. Let's raise our glass hard to.
I don't know, I think Lost on You, you know, I feel like it's a special song. It came from a very difficult time, but a very emotional time. And I feel like, you know, these are, in the world in general, it's a very emotional time. And, you know, in a lot of ways, I mean, I feel like there's always been bad things going on in the world, but I think now as much as any time, there's so many crazy things going on. And I think, you know, and maybe it's also because we're like, you know, we have a front row seat because of social media and everything. And so I think it's just an emotional song, and it connects a little bit to people that are in an emotional place in their lives. I definitely felt, I just felt that there's a couple of meanings. I felt like it was, it was lost on them that I was suffering, and that, you know, what I needed. I felt like I had lost a lot of innocence and time on this person, and I wasn't sure if they realized it, you know. And I feel like I was definitely very frustrated at the time, you know. So you can kind of feel the plea in my voice, I think, and that's we were able to preserve that. I mean, I think that's the demo of that. I think that's a vocal that I did the day I wrote it. So. for sure. I love Muddy Waters. I mean, that was, I thought it was like kind of fun, interesting idea to have a song called Muddy Waters that wasn't about muddy waters, but that was actually about water being muddy and the metaphor of it. So I don't know, I'm glad it came out how it did. It was, you know, it started out as like, oh, that sounds like a cool title, you know, and then I don't know, the song, it gets put in a lot of interesting movies and shows and stuff, so that's kind of cool. It's like, you know, that song also was written in and around the time of the song Lost on You, and it just has there was a sense of confusion going on in my head about things in general, and I felt as though Muddy Waters was kind of explaining that, like, you know, that kind of odd period in life, in a relationship. My personal and my professional life were in almost the same place. Like they were like confusing and like, which way is this gonna go?
Wishing I could see the machinations, understand the toil of expectations in your mind.
If Feist and Joan Jett had a child, I don't know. I feel like it's a compliment. You know, I've met Joan Jett before a long time ago, and she's the coolest. Like, you know, like yeah, she's definitely like one of those, like, you know, she's nice and cool, and that's my favorite combination for sure. And Feist I've never met, but I'm definitely an admirer of her work. I think, you know, I take it as a compliment because I think that she says a lot of interesting things in her songs, and kind of doesn't beat around the bush much. You know, she just says what she feels, and you're like, oh, okay.
Hold me like you never lost your patience. Tell me that you love me more than hate me all the time, and you're still mine.
You know, New York represents a lot of struggle to me. You know, I feel better when I go back there now, but I remember in the early days of like kind of when I was living in LA and I first started going back to New York, I was kind of struck by the fact that because I think all the major things that happened to me in a good way, like the success that I've had, has all come out of LA for the most part. I mean, I got my first couple of deals, you know, in New York, and it was exciting and everything, but I feel like I really started to like get songs placed and get songs cut when I lived in LA, and I felt like I started writing the best stuff of my career. And New York, there's something, I'm so glad I grew up there and I lived there, and I got so many great things from it, but I feel like LA kind of let me kind of like be more open. New York feels very vertical for me. Sometimes I can't think as clearly there, and the muse, I feel like the muse for me is more in LA, like just like the desert climate. There's something about it I love. Yeah.
So smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it's going down. All I ever wanted was you. Let's take a drink of heaven, this can turn around. Let's raise our glass to.
One, there was like, it was, I think moving to LA opened up a lot more songwriting opportunities for me, because it just seems like, I remember when I was really coming at it from a mostly songwriting perspective, where I didn't know, after being an artist for a bit, and not really, you know, feeling like I got you know, I was in the major label system for like 3 years where no record came out, and I just wrote like around 130, 140 songs, and I felt, and then one of them got picked up by the Backstreet Boys, and I started like a writing career. So I just like, I feel like LA, you know, to be a writer especially, there were just much more opportunities to write. Like I could write probably like, have 3 writing sessions a day, 7 days a week if I wanted. Where in New York, it was like a third of that. So that was the main reason, you know, and I met somebody out there, and, you know, things happen.
To all the things I've lost on you. Oh, tell me how they lost on you. Oh, just that you could cut me loose. Oh, after everything I've lost on you, is that lost on you?
And you know, Rihanna, that was like kind of wild, because I don't think I ever like pictured myself getting a song with Rihanna somehow. Like I didn't think I wouldn't, but it didn't, like, it wasn't something I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna have a hit song with Rihanna. But I was like, it was a pleasant surprise, and it was really fun because I sang the demo of it, you know, when we wrote it, and it was my first experience. I thought she was going to change it a lot, you know, and it was basically the same song. She just added her amazing voice, you know. It's cool. Getting a song on South of Nowhere, I mean, you know, it was like I had a cult following, and it was you know, it was like a gay show, kind of, and skewed very young to like two young girls that were like kind of in high school coming out. So for its time, you know, like I don't know, like 10 years ago, it was kind of, it was a good example for a lot of kids that were struggling with that, and I know it was cool, you know. I mean, hey, the cat's out of the bag. I'm gay. It's crazy, but you know, it was a big deal for me because I finally had to face the fact that no, it didn't. It wasn't. You know, I mean, I thought it was cool. I was honored to be on it, and you know, and some kids got, you know, into my work, so that was cool. My shows, I guess, I feel like are definitely, I feel like they're a communal kind of experience, you know, like I like to, I feel like it's always, that's the best thing about being a performer, or being an artist, that, you know, playing your own music, is connecting with people through song, and through like a song that you wrote, that, you know, that your feelings made, and then how it connects with somebody else, where they're like, it goes into their life, and then it takes on another whole personality and form, and that's kind of fascinating, you know, because you don't know, like, it's like, how do people perceive color, how do people perceive music, and for a person to love one of your songs, or, you know, all your songs, or a couple, is kind of interesting, that they would, you know, you're wondering, what does it mean to them, you know, because obviously it has a whole scenario of its own in their head, so I think it's kind of, it's fun to connect with that.